Hello, I am back with another guide to Final Fantasy XI. This time we're going to be unlocking Dark Knight. So I'm here at the Bastock Mines Auction House. I can speak. Home point, and I'm going to run you to where you need to go here. While my frame rate runs away from me. I don't know why it does that every time I record. It's not like this is a particularly taxing game. You can also start down by the Alchemist Guild and just come up the stairs, but this is easier because it's near the survival guide. And since I'm coming from Sandoria, this is a little NPC you want to chat to today. I'll show you on my map where I are, which probably does not help, which is why I ran here. You want to talk to this short person here. That is not the cutscene we want, or the conversation we want. Hi, we had a visitor before where I left. Yes, that's the one cutscene you want. The one about specifically mentions Zide. So this is probably going to be a longer video because there's going to be some running around. Maybe he can teach you how to become a Dark Knight too. You want to make sure you have the quest flagged, which is Blade of Darkness, which is the one we're doing today. Let's see. We'll go to the Alchemist Guild. Home point. That's it. Home point. I knew it ended with a point. My brain's good today. Very good today. Let's run to the old home point and off we go. Where to, you ask? The entrance to Port Bastock. Up and away. My goodness, I am I just woke up. Just had breakfast. Just getting started. That's my excuse for today. That's why I left my brain in bed. Under a fluffy cat. Under a warm blanket. At least it's not as cold as it was the first time I recorded. Of course, our favorite ability. And my favorite mount. Whee! Now, our goal right now is the Palborough Mine. Now, where is that, you might ask? It is right across the plateaus there. Would be easy to get to if there was a path through the plateaus, but there's not. You can either go over the one or around them. We're going to go around them because that's the easiest way to go. Once again, I am on White Mage level 50 because I'm not entirely sure, but there might be potential for some of the enemies to aggro at level 30. I don't think so, but I could be 100% wrong. I really don't think there's much chance of them aggroing at level 30. This one's a pretty simple quest, but it's very time consuming. Which is gonna be fun for y'all. It's actually a lot easier since you can do the Records of Eminence quest to keep track of every 10 monsters you kill out here. But hey, that's gonna be a story for another time. Well, slightly later. Anyway, I did not get a map of the Palborough Mines, which I think is quested. Possibly. Possibly. We'll find out. At some point in time, anyway. Once you come over to this little bridge here in North Gustafsburg, you don't want to leave by any other of the exits because, well, they put you into South Gustafsburg primarily, but they'll also put you down below the cliff. And you cannot ascend the cliff unless you have done a quest in the past to affect the future. Which is about as convoluted as it sounds. I'll be covering them in another video at some point in time. I believe there are 3 points like that. So yeah. I think. I can think of 2 off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there's a 3rd. Once again, I could be wrong. I'll find out when we get there. Which will be in the future, because that's not really a priority at the moment. Just floating my way up of the hills on my spheroid. Leaving all this in so you know where to go to get here, because I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not on the map. The entrance isn't on the map, of course. We're going up here to this little nubbin up here. There's a little cave there, which you'll see when we get there. Eek a people. It's unexpected. See, you might find some people in here because it is a hotspot for one of the Bastock missions, where you have to collect things from the Turtley boys. It's also a part of the key quest to get the airship pass to Kazam. Probably butchering that name, but as I do. Now we're in the mines. There we go. And yes, I do not have a map of the mines. I'll have to get that at some point in time. But whether you do or don't, you can just follow me. And I shall lead you where you need to go, hopefully. Without getting too terribly lost. Hopefully. There's a lot of hopefully in here. Yeah, this place can be a bit of a maze, even if you have the map. There's a lot of zones like that. You shall see as you play. The longer you play, the more you will notice. Here we are. Looking for this particular space. Also, Ika people. I just want to go up at a hill here. And then there's another up of the hill coming up. Yeah, like I said, these maps can be a bit of a maze. But this is the room we're looking for here to go up again. Even with the maps, it's a bit of a pain in the bottom. The only reason that I don't need a map is because this is committed into my brain memory for some reason. Hooray! I think some, or at least one of the notorious monsters in here might aggro level 30. And that would be the one we've got to pass here. Mr. Death Hurler. He likes to throw things. They're all sound aggro. Just in case you wanted to sneak on by. The hint there being sneak. Silent oils or sneak. Just in case. You're coming in here at level 30. And once we get through that spot, we want to get through this spot. Like I said, this is the longest, well, this is the most convoluted part of the quest. It's certainly not the longest, which you will see in a short time. Sadly. Like I said, that's why I'm doing this, so you can just follow along in case you get lost. Now, I might take a wrong turn here or there, so please pay attention, as I just did. Let's see, it's the next one, I believe. Where the... Yep, here we are. Like I said, it's a maze, and it's probably not going to get any better once we get ahead. So, yeah. Hello, kitty cat. Ah! Those were claws. Thank you. Lucifer says good morning. With pointy bits in my flesh. Hooray! That is the blessing of the cat. So now, we're into this section, which is more ruiny. And it gets a bit more convoluted here because there are dead ends to navigate. But I think, if I recall correctly, this portion is a bit more straightforward than the previous. That's happening. I'm going to assume somebody's a thief here trying to get the keys or the fetish pieces. So what we're looking for is this little boat right here. Now you want to make sure you have space in your inventory. At least one space empty, and we do. You want to hit the dock lever. And after that you'll get a cutscene. Eventually. Someday. And that's it for the most convoluted part of this quest, at least. This will take you back to the Zarin mines. Pay no mind to the fact that I'm floating in the water. And in the Zarin mines, you will get another cutscene. This time with Emo Man. I mean, Zide the Dark Knight. Alright, so if you did everything as directed, you should have in your inventory an item called Chaosbringer, a greatsword, level 1, which can be used by Warrior, Dark Knight, or Rune Fencer. I'm going to assume you don't have Dark Knight unlocked if you're unlocking Dark Knight. And if you've been following these guides, and I'm going in order, Rune Fencer is well at the end of the list. So, I have switched to Warrior, and now we have to kill, meow meow meow, now we have to kill 100 enemies with the Chaosbringer. Just the Chaosbringer. Weapon skills do not count. Trust kills do not count. Thankfully, things that are too weak do count. So you can go outside any of the starter areas and just start whacking. Which is what I'm going to do. And this is going to take a while. An easier way to track it would be to open up your objective lists, open up your regions here, see if or where. Here we go. And that will track every 10. You'll get notification, so you can track that way. So basically, you're just going to go ham on any critters you see out here. And, like I said, prepare for suffering. And lots of that. Back here. One good thing about Warrior. Provoke. One awful thing about the Chaosbringer, the ridiculous delay. So yes, when I said be prepared for suffering, I was not joking. At all. Well, this will be a shortcut for you and a long time for me. Alrighty, and once you've killed 100 enemies, after a long, long time of stabbing very, very weak critters, as you can see I used a combination of the party chat and the records of eminence objectives to keep track of my murderations, you're gonna want to head to Bideau. All you'll have to do is zone in there, so that's fairly easy. We want to take our favorite ability and ride into the sunset. Now once you get out to the Pashao marshlands, you're probably going to want to avoid these friendly fellers, as they will aggro you. A lot of things will actually aggro you out here, so it's good to have the mount and not have to worry about that. Since I've come in at the survival guide, you can also zone in here from, let's see, either the Rolandberry Fields just outside of Juneau, or from the Kronstadt Highlands. Easy peasy, everything's marked on the maps. No troubles, but since I zoned here from the survival guide, it might be a bit longer of a hover to get to where I'm going. And of course you'll see me check the maps frequently because, well, the mini-map isn't a mini-map, it's more of a radar, and it kind of sucks. I suppose that would be a quality of life upgrade that would probably destroy the game's spaghetti code. I cannot imagine what the game's code looks like after 22 years of updates. And these critters will also aggro you if you're on foot. But that could be a good thing, considering some of the things they drop, which is for a fame quest that raises your fame in Sandoria and Basdock. But that's for another guide. That is stuff for another guide. Today, we're hovering down to finish unlocking Dark Knight. Now, the reason I told you to keep track of how many kills you make is because the game doesn't tell you. I don't there's no indicator at all. I don't believe there's any kind of indication or way to find an indication other than keeping track of it yourself. So that's stuff to keep in mind as you're doing this quest. And of course, when Zyde was talking about the Road of Sorrow, he was actually talking about the rest of this quest. Getting those 100 kills. Because my goodness, that took a while. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we want to go in here. Once again, not marked on your map. Or not labeled anyway. The Quadav stronghold of Bideau, which is down in this little cubby hole here somewhere. Like I said, there's really not much indication. Like even Devoy had some semblance of, you know, you're going the right way by coming across the battlements and whatnot, but out here it just be wild. That's why I'm continuing to show you on the map where to go. See where the little tail of the map fades out is where you're wanting to go. And that will zone you directly into where we're going. Now we'll get a cutscene, and that will be the quest completed. And you get a cool emote to boot. Congratulations, you can now become a Dark Knight. And that's all for this guide. Hope you'll join me for the next one. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, leave a nice comment. Bring a friend. Have them like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment. Patreon if you're so inclined, and links. And I shall see you in the next one. Until then, happy gaming.